Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 of a commentary between Acidstormy and Forestwind here on Steps of War. Just going to go ahead and continue this replay. So yeah, you can see that these Hydralisks are just being forced to just try to walk around and get in position. So a lot of these Hydralisks were not firing, and you really want to maximize your DPS as quickly as possible. That's one of the reasons why Colossi are so strong against Hydralisks, and those Hydralisks generally just try to line up there, and you can see one attack from that Colossi was able to shoot down 3 of those Hydralisks very easily. We now see an Overlord sitting in the base here, so Acidstormy not on top of his macro, and also having a little bit of, or having some probes in the back of his base and not doing anything as well. So Acidstormy now going to be trying to take up this high ground expansion, but over here, very nicely done. Forestwind trying to transfuse, trying to heal up as much as possible. However, with the attack style and the army composition of Acidstormy, the Zerg player really should have gone for armor upgrades as well. And the reason why is because all of these attacks, all of these units are not the right counter unit that you really see. And also the number of attacks. Phoenixes normally have a double attack rate, so by getting 1 additional armor on the Hydralisk, you essentially reduce the amount of damage from 22 down to 20, which is a 10% difference there. We do see some Zerglings now trying to pull back. We'll be able to finish off a lot of these Zealots here, but you remember that the Zealot is also able to hit these Zerglings as well, as a Queen now makes its way up over here. However, Phoenix is quickly finding that Queen, gonna Graviton Beam it again. And just one of the weaknesses of the Zerg, their Queens and their Overlords are fairly easy to take down for a Protoss player who uses Phoenixes effectively. Now, this is a very expensive army here, so 5 Phoenixes cost 150 minerals each, so that is a 750 mineral army. As Zerglings now swarm into this position, we do see this Colossi now coming in with the Zealots in order to try to push this attack back. And now this is one of those instances where natural building armor it really helps protection against Zerglings. Zerglings are only able to deal 4 damage in attack against this Nexus because of that armor and no weapons upgrade. So this Nexus was able to survive at 86 hit points here, and will start to slowly regenerate their shields. We now see more Hydralisks coming in, and we are also at Hive Tech. So with Hive Tech, we're going to be seeing some Ultralisks. So Ultralisks now being trained up as well. Forestwind needs to keep up on top of his macro. Ultralisks takes 70 units of time to build. So even though you're able to queue up a lot of them very quickly, you really want to make sure that you get those Ultralisks, especially if you're trying to counter Stalkers. They're not nearly as effective versus Zealots, and they're not nearly as effective versus Colossi. So not exactly sure why he decided to go for Ultralisks. But then again, his only other option perhaps could have been Corruptors by getting a couple Corruptors and then transitioning into Broodlords. That may have been the better option. And yeah, I think that may have been the better option. Also, these Ultralisks only have 2 armor, needs to get additional armor upgrades as well in order to really be able to stand toe-to-toe against Zealots. Zealots do have that double attack, so if you're able to reduce the amount of damage and get some armor on them, that will help those Zealots, those Ultralisks' life very considerably. So these Ultralisks now walking around the map, Ultralisks moving at a movement speed of 2.95, which is equivalent to a Stalker. So those Ultralisks able to move very quickly, and then on creep, moving even more quickly with a 0.88 movement boost as these Phoenixes now move out into the air. Zealots on the ground, sentries on the ground, and Colossi as well, and one Zealot quickly getting taken down. Ultralisks trying to come in as well, however catching these units out of position. Once again, Forestwind did not have his Ultralisks and his Hydralisks together. 3 of those Ultralisks quickly got taken down, and the rest of this army now going to get taken down as well, as these Hydralisks are not able to do anything with these Phoenixes constantly Graviton beaming that army. More Ultralisks now being trained up by Forestwind once again here, but Forestwind still has a decent amount of minerals and a decent amount of gas. Perhaps Infestors would be a good call. I think since he already had the Infestation Pit, as a Zerg player, if you're having problems against Phoenixes, you need to get Infestors. Infestors with that fungal growth, if you're able to fungal growth those Phoenixes, those Hydralisks are then able to just pick away and tear apart those Phoenixes. One of the greatest strengths of a Phoenix is its movement speed. If you're able to neutralize that one aspect of that Phoenix, that Phoenix all of a sudden has a movement speed of 0 will get shot down very quickly. You also have to make sure that when you fungal growth them, that they are not within graviton beam range. Ultralisk now trying to make their way over, and now you're going to see one of the problems with Ultralisk as well, as they're going to try to make their way down this very, very small ramp. You do see Ultralisk, only Ultralisk can come in as a single file line here, and what this does is it allows these Zealots to just essentially fight one Ultralisk at a time, when Ultralisk really want to all be using their Kaiser Blades and getting as much splash damage as possible. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay between Acidstormy and Forestwind. And if you like this commentary style, go ahead and thumbs up, let me know, leave me comments. I do read about 80% of the comments, since I do check my email and it is tied to my email. I just don't get emails on comments that are responses to someone else. So if you're trying to respond to someone else and you go at, and then, you know, do that player or do that YouTube handle, I do not get that response, so I won't be able to read it. Anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, hope you guys enjoyed it, and let me know if you guys like this style of commentary as opposed to a shoutcast.